What's up, my NYH family? What's up? It's me. Listen, it's Truck Money Academy, man. Welcome to the Big Business or No Business podcast. This is actually my first episode for my podcast. And we're going to start it off with Financial Literacy Introduction 101. We're going to start it off like that. And I've been contemplating, procrastinating, and deciding on how I'm going to give it to y'all, what way I want to give it to you, what's the first episode that I want to drop. But just in general, I feel like before we get started or before I move to the left or the right, I need to put some structure and put some foundation and get some clarity, and just give y'all a little background information on what to expect from my channel, on what to expect when it comes to the episodes that I'm dropping, the information that I'm dropping. Everything that I'm dropping is coming, straight from my business, straight from the information that I learned. I invested so much into, knowledge, information, personal development, just in general. So, there's a lot of different podcasts out there, man. There's a lot of different channels. There's a lot of people that, you may be listening to that might be, giving you some information that might be misleading. I just want to let you know, when you come to my channel, I'm giving it to you straight, raw, and uncut, and I'm giving you real information, okay? All the information that I speak about can be researched. If you want to drop any comments, under the video, certain things that you want me to talk about. If it's something in the video that I was speaking about that you may be not comprehending or wanted an extra little back end information about, don't be scared to comment up under the video, man. I read all comments. I respond to all comments. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the NYH family, right? For the people that don't know, so I've been a business coach for 5 years. I'm also an over-the-road truck driver. I started truck driving in 2020. We're currently in 2025. In the same year that I started truck driving, that's when I started my entrepreneurship journey. I used the money that I was making from trucking and I invested into myself, into financial literacy and knowledge and information. And everything that I know now is self-taught. I have a lot of mentees up under me. I grow my business to a tremendously, decent, amount of business in revenue. I serviced a lot of people. I serviced well over 2,000, 3,000 plus people. And that's just, a number off the top of my head, not to be specific, because I service so much people. It's not even, to be counted. I'm just doing the service on what God has called upon me to do. I always wanted to start a podcast. I always been, sometimes I be procrastinating. Sometimes I always thought about, how did I do it? Should I start it perfect? I see, a lot of people podcast. They got, nice couches, microphones, all the things like that. I'm starting my first video of my podcast episode right here from this hotel room that I'm in Tallahassee. And I'm doing it right here, right now. Right? Because everybody who started, it's not about what you want to do. It's about when you're going to do it. Because a lot of people want to do something, but they never did it. So guess what? All the glitz and the glamour, all the gold and all the diamonds, that's going to come later. You got to start from somewhere. So my podcast, man, I'm giving it to you straight, raw, and uncut. But this episode today is going to be the Financial Literacy 101. So, I just want you to sit back, man, enjoy the video. If you haven't already, I want you to go get you a book, go get you a pen and paper. There's going to be some gems that's going to be dropping. There's going to be some information on here that you maybe heard that might sound a little familiar to you. It may be some new information that you might want to go research after the things that I do speak about, in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to talk about, a lot of people has been using like the word financial literacy in so many different ways, made their own definition of financial literacy. But after you watch this video, I want you to go on Google and look at the direct definition of financial literacy, because some people have their own, like you can have your own definition of financial literacy, but you need to know the main definition of financial literacy first, and then if you want to have your edited version of financial literacy, yes, because it's so much people confused. By the time they come to me, they maybe have found me because I'm in the financial literacy space, but when I ask them what's your definition of financial literacy, it's something that's way off. So I want you to find out what's the real definition of financial literacy, and what does that consist of, what information is that pertaining to directly. And the first word in that is financial. Okay, so financial intelligence, powering your business journey from start to scale, right? What that means, just all in a nutshell, mastering the financial skills to separate successful entrepreneurs from the rest. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that what I said. Master the financial skills to separate successful entrepreneurs from the rest. If you can learn something and you can master it, because a lot of people can learn stuff and they forget over a certain time, or they learn things and they don't practice enough that they don't perfect it. If you can master the financial skills from successful entrepreneurs that separates you from the rest, this presentation is going to cover all those categories. I'm just telling you right now. This episode on this podcast, I'm going to cover so much different areas of financial literacy. If you can master the main topics that I'm speaking about in this segment, you already ahead of the game. You already ahead of the game. Because I'm 5 years in. So the information I'm giving to you, if I'm 5 years in and you starting off from year one, I'm already giving you 5 years of experience. Whatever experience that you already have, just add 5+ years on that. However long that you've been informative, or been locked in on financial literacy, just add 5+ years on that with watching this episode. This is what this episode gonna do to you. Okay? So let me just go ahead and get right down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the financial literacy gap. Why do most entrepreneurs struggle? That's the number one question. Everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody is getting money. Getting money is not a problem. So where is the financial gap where most entrepreneurs struggle? Because you got entrepreneurs that started from the bottom and you got entrepreneurs that made it. But a lot of entrepreneurs that get to a certain amount of money, they're still moving like the entrepreneurs that's just not getting started. It do not make sense. Anybody could give you $1 million and put it in your hand, but if they didn't tell you what to do with it, it's only but so long that money gonna go. Okay? So one of the reasons why most entrepreneurs struggle, knowledge deficit. In the beginning of the video, I told you that I started truck driving in 2020. It's 2025. I'm 5 years in. The money that I made from trucking, as soon as I started truck driving, the first thing I did was invest in knowledge, because knowledge is power. One of the top topics of reasons why entrepreneurs struggle is from knowledge deficit. 83% of entrepreneurs lack formal financial training. Most focus on product expertise instead. So 83% of entrepreneurs lack financial training because they focus on product expertise instead. In so many words, that means a lot of entrepreneurs focus on sales, but they don't focus on money management. They don't focus on the finances. They just worry about sales. But you can do sales, but you got to know how to manage the money when you get it. You got to know how to break down the money when you get it. You got to know what departments that the money need to go to when you get it. That's the problem. Do not be that 83%. Do not be that 83%. I'm not the first person that's telling you this. This is not the first time that you ever heard that. It's how many times do you want to get money, go up, go back flat? Get money, go up, go back flat. We done did that before. We done did that too many times. How many times you was up and went back down again and had to start over again and ran it back up again and went back flat again and started over again, and now you up right now and you do not want to go back down. This is an entrepreneur that's talking to you right now. I don't want to. We done did that. We done been there, done that. And I don't want to be a part of that 83%. I don't know about you. If you want to be a part of the 83% of people that lack financial training, be that. But me, I'm locked in on them finances. I'm locked in on money management. I'm serious about that because I want to be able to go sit at big tables. I want to be able to go, I'm trying to sign contracts, man. I'm trying to sign, brand deals. We trying to sit at big tables. And don't nobody got to invite you to the table. If nobody invites you to the table, make your own. That's what they say. If they don't want to invite you to their table, make your own. The second reason why most entrepreneurs struggle, cash problems. 82% of businesses fail steam to poor cash management. Even profitable companies still fail without liquidity. Okay? So like I said, the first reason is knowledge deficit. The second reason is cash problems. Cash problems is a money management problem. You could get that money, but if you don't know what to do with the money will blow. Learn money management. Learn your finances. Learn accounting. Learn budgeting. All of those is cash problems. If you need help, I'm a business coach. Follow my Instagram at TruckMoneyCaddy. Send me a DM. Click the link in my bio. Book a consultation. I can help you out. Trust me, I can give you a whole format set up on money management that you can use even if you're starting a business or been in business for 10 plus years. Everybody can use the concept that I have. And I use it to this day. It's a proven fact. Only way you can fail is if you don't follow the blueprint. That's it. Number 3, growth plateaus. Companies often stall at 1 to 3 million revenue. Financial limitations create invisible growth ceilings. So what that means is a lot of entrepreneurs get to a point where everybody wants to make their first million. Everybody wants to make their first million. Oh, my dream is I want to be the first millionaire in my family, or I want to get to my first million. Okay, now once you get to your first million or your first 3 million, you get so complacent, like, oh, I made it, and then you take a seat back. You go ahead and lay back in the Maybach. You can't do that. You get plateaued. A lot of entrepreneurs, once they reach their first million, they don't got that same drive that got them to that million. Once they reach that 1, they probably blew the 1 and they doubled it and got 2 or 3. After that, is you're not working towards 10, you're not working towards 20, 50. Come on now, you can't get comfortable. Because when you got to 100K, it wasn't enough. So now when you get to an M, why that's enough? I know a lot of people dream is to reach a million because you got to see it to believe it. You got to feel it to even know that it's possible. So once you do get it, now it's like, now what? It's always something next. It's always something next. When you reach your first million, you could just check that off the box, but it's something next to do. Once you reach 3 million, you could check that off the box, but it's always something next to do. Never get too complacent. You always have to be willing to grow. You have to be a student to the game. You have to be open to growing and knowing that I cannot get complacent in my current situation. Because if you don't make the money grow, the money will decrease. No matter how long you saved it, no matter how pretty it look, the money got to get spent. Don't get complacent, okay? Those are the 3 reasons why most entrepreneurs struggle. Knowledge deficit, cash problems, and growth plateaus. Those 3 needs to be the main 3 topics that you lock in on. If you could lock in on those 3 and really apply pressure on those 3, you already ahead of your competition because they lack all 3. Trust me. Look at what industry you're in and look at the people that's in that industry and look at what they're doing. And you'll just be able to see it just off their social media platforms. Now, if you around them personally, or if you just, going to different places with people that's in your industry and seeing. For my entrepreneurs that's watching this episode right now, I'm going to give you a breakdown. There's a lot of people that, want to start a business. There's a lot of people that got ideas. There's a lot of people that's, want to know, like, how do I start a business? How do I get an LLC? How do I start my business? How do I create a business plan? I want to start a business so bad. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to, get into the entrepreneurship space, but I don't know what to do. I'm about to break it down to you right now. This can apply to whatever state that you're in. If you're in a certain state and you want information directed to this state, in this video, I want you to comment the state that you're in, and I'll send you information regarding directly to your state. This format that I'm going to give you on how to start a business and properly structure your business, because that's very important. A lot of people say they want to start a business, but anybody could send you, to a website, but you have to have your business structured properly. And a lot of people say, okay, structure your business properly. But what does that mean? Nobody is giving you information and breaking down details. I'm going to break down some details for you right now and just give you a quick rundown on how to start your business properly and how to have it properly structured. Okay? The first step of starting a business is getting a registered LLC. Okay? No matter the state that you're in, you can go to the Secretary of State website and apply for an LLC. Do not, I repeat, do not use third-party websites to create an LLC. You're just wasting extra money, throwing money in the air, and they are doing the same thing and just adding representative fees or whatever fees that's used for their website, and they still have to go to the Secretary of State website. So I'm in the state of Florida. Our Secretary of State website is sunbiz.org. Okay, whatever state that you're in, if you don't know your Secretary of State, if you don't know your Secretary of State website, just type in Secretary of State, whatever state that you're in, and that direct website will pull up. Okay, it's 3 things that you need to get your business registered properly. You need to go to the Secretary of State website. Next, you need to get an EIN number. Your EIN number will come from irs.gov. Okay? Your EIN number is free. Never let anybody charge you for an EIN number. Anybody could get an EIN number. Once you register your LLC on the Secretary of State website, you need to apply for an EIN number, and it must match all of the information that you put on the LLC. Make sure that it matches, okay? And the third thing that you need to do is you need to go to Duns & Bradstreet website and apply for a Duns and Bradstreet number. I see a lot of people do step 1 and 2 and they don't do 3. It's not just applying for an LLC and getting an EIN number. You need to also apply for a Duns and Bradstreet number. So if you're looking at this video and say, hey, what is a Duns and Bradstreet number? A Duns and Bradstreet number is basically a number that'll be registered to your LLC in the system. At the time when you want to start building business credit, you'll have a Duns and Bradstreet number that's already reported or connected to your LLC for you to start building business credit. You cannot build business credit without a Duns and Bradstreet number. Now, you might say, oh, I don't know anything about business credit. It's not about if you know it, it's about when you're going to get to that point in your business that you're going to start doing it, but you already did it before. Okay, some people may not know this. I started my coaching and consulting business as by doing LLCs. Okay, the first ever service that I offered was LLCs. Okay, and for every client that I did an LLC, I did their LLC EIN number and Duns and Bradstreet number. If they didn't know what a Duns and Bradstreet number was, I explained it to them. If they wasn't into building business credit, they still have it, and whatever they do after I did the service, that's on them. Do not get an LLC and an EIN number without getting a Duns and Bradstreet number. That's very important. Your Duns and Bradstreet number is free. Your EIN number is free. I don't know how the other states work. For the state of Florida, you guys need to know this. If you're new to applying for an LLC, once you apply for an LLC and you pay for it on the Secretary of State website, after it gets approved, within a few days, you're gonna get some letters in the mail saying that you have to pay for an EIN number and stuff like that. Those 2-3 papers that you get, that's trash. Okay, you do not have to pay for it. That's a systematic letter that automatically goes to you in the system. Once your LLC gets approved, it's a couple letters that get sent to the address on file, just saying that they want you to pay whatever for some bullshit. Whatever it is, it's trash. Okay, your EIN number is free. Your Duns and Bradstreet number is free. You paid for the LLC on the Secretary of State website, and you got your emails with your articles of organization saying that your LLC was approved. Now you live. That's it. Okay, if anybody got any questions about that first part, let me know in the comments, and I'll answer any questions that you do have. Every state Secretary of State fee is a different price. Let me say that. So Florida, our Secretary of State fee is like $125. Every state is different. I know Texas is like $300. Cali has their own price. Every state Secretary of State fee is not the same. So whatever state that you're in, find out what your Secretary of State fee is for you to file your LLC and get it done. If you need help with properly filing an LLC and you don't want to do it yourself, you want to make sure that it gets done correctly, reach out to me. Comment up under this video or send me a DM on my Instagram page. I respond to all DMs. My Instagram page is at Truck Money Caddy, and the link will be, under this video. Step number 2. This is very important. When it comes to structuring your business properly, what the people don't tell you is that you have 2 options. Okay, you can get a virtual address. A virtual address is basically a monthly subscription, a business address on file that you will pay for, so you can detach your personal address from your business address. Now, what people don't know is when you're paying for a virtual address, some virtual address websites comes with perks. Some people just pay for virtual addresses and they're not using the benefits of the virtual addresses, right? Like, you have access to the virtual addresses office if you want to do, meetings, if you want to do conferences, different things like that. It's 3 main virtual address websites that I recommend, and these are the ones that you'll get from me. Is multiple virtual address websites, but these just are the 3 virtual address websites that I recommend that people use if you want to use a virtual address website when you register on your LLC. So the first one will be Regis. The second one would be Opus, and the third one would be iPoster1.com. All of those three virtual websites is good. You can go to all three websites and look to see which one that you prefer depending on your finances. That'll be your decision. Sometimes some people may not be financially in a position to pay for a virtual address, when it's the time for the LLC. It's not highly recommended, but if you have to, you can put your personal address as your business address at the time that you create your LLC. Just know that once your LLC is approved online, it will be public records, and when the time that you do start getting serious about your business, you do want to update it to a virtual address website. If you don't want to pay for the virtual address websites monthly, something that I would just recommend to people, and I'll just tell you, is if you already have entrepreneur friends and they already have shops, business offices, and stuff like that, sometimes it may could be cheaper for you if you just ask your business friend, hey, I'm about to make an LLC. Do you think it's okay if I could use your office address as my business address on file? And whatever mail that comes, for my business, I could always come and get it from you. And your friend might just let you do it for free. So that's saving you a monthly subscription, because your friend already has a salon suite, already has a barbershop, already has an office space, already has a boutique, already has a suite in one of the buildings. Everybody has friends that's already in entrepreneurial space, doing their business, doing hair, nails, whatever, selling clothes, branding, all type of stuff. Tax office, lawyer's office, paralegals. It's so much different, people that you have around you, but you haven't thought about it. So hopefully with you watching this episode, it gave you something to think about. If you don't want to go on Regis, Opus, or iPostal.com and pay for a virtual address website, if you have some entrepreneur friends, you may ask them, hey, is it okay if I just put your office address as the business address on my LLC, so I don't have to put my personal address on there? If not, you can put your personal address on there to do the process to get the LLC approved, and later on when you get to the point that you want to get a virtual address, the websites to go to. And if you need help with registering it, you can always reach out to me. I could be able to help you. That's just a little advice to help you save money on the long haul, because there's some people that pay for the virtual addresses monthly and it's just taking money out of their account, and some people don't even have the LLC anymore, or they probably didn't do anything with the business, with the LLC, until after a year that it's been open. Just certain things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe that could be able to help save somebody money, or however the situation goes. Step number 3, after you get a registered LLC, and you get a virtual address if needed, next is going to open up a business account. There's no reason for you to have an LLC and you don't have a business account. I don't understand. Can somebody explain that to me? Me as a business coach, as a lot of people coming up to me, as a lot of people, I speak to a lot of people about business. I have a lot of clients. I have a lot of, upcoming entrepreneurs. We have a lot of, people that just want to speak to me about business. Oh, yeah, I got an LLC, And I'll be like, yeah, you got an LLC? I say, yeah, man. I'm like, you got a business account? Nah. What you mean? That's just like saying you have a business, but you don't have a business account. That doesn't make sense. You don't even sound legit to me. I don't know about you. If somebody said they got a business, but they don't got a business account, that you must ain't be getting no real money then. Because anybody who got a business has a real business account. Okay? Amazon is a real business. You think they don't got a business account? Publix is a real business. You think they don't got a business account? AutoZone is a real business. You think they don't got a business account? If you want to be a real business, you got to start acting like it. I don't be understanding my people. You telling me you got a LLC. You got the process started. You did step one. But how you think you just supposed to get an LLC and stop? No. If you get your LLC created, the next thing that you need to be doing is going to open up a business account. Okay? And this is for the people that's, still working a 9-to-5. If you working a job and you open a business account, the first thing that you need to be doing is switching your direct deposit from your personal account to your business account. Second thing, once you get your LLC and you're on a search of looking for business bank accounts to open up with, you need to open up with major branches or credit unions. I preferably prefer credit union banks over major branches, because the major branches, sometimes they ask for a higher, minimum deposit. And also the credit union banks are better lenders to new, starting businesses and stuff like that. The major banks actually have higher higher requirements when it comes to like funding and stuff like that. So a lot of the credit union banks, they do a lot of startup, business loans, business fundings, for brand new businesses, within a year, 2 years, different things like that. So I prefer credit unions. You can open up whichever bank that you prefer. A lot of people like to ask me, what are the type of banks that I recommend that you open up a business account with. I like Truist. I like Space Coast, PNC, Navy Federal. Who I'm missing? TD Bank, PenFed Credit Union. Who I'm missing? That's it. That's six. That's just six. Off the top of my head. Those are the banks that I recommend. For business bank accounts for people that's just not getting a brand new LLC started. So, out of that list, if you want to go do your own research and see which one of those banks you prefer, do that. Next is, please, when it comes to your business bank account, make sure that you have multiple online banking choices. The problem that I see with a lot of entrepreneurs is that you please need to understand, we do not only have to have one bank account. You can have multiple bank accounts. It's not good to only have one bank account. You can have your main bank account, but you do not only need to have one bank account, because everything is ran by the computer system. So let's just say you got Bank of America today. Sometimes Bank of America online banking could be down. Their Wi-Fi could be down. Their network could be down. So if you might have to pull out money today, or you might have to pay a bill today, you might have to pay your rent today, but Bank of America tripping, but you got Chase, you can still go over there to Chase, pull out the money over there, do what you finna do until Bank of America get right. If all 5 of your accounts is with Bank of America, and if Bank of America down, you have no access to no money, nowhere, because you're putting all of your eggs in one basket and you're only solely trusting one bank. Okay, so I have multiple bank accounts just in case if I might be too far from this bank, I might could go to the closer one. This bank, internet or online banking might be down. I still have access to withdraw money from the other bank system that's not down. A lot of entrepreneurs only have one business bank account. You do not need to only have one business bank account. I highly recommend you to get multiple business bank accounts, because everything is technology these days. It's computer, it's internet, it's Wi-Fi, and those things go. And you need to have access, to multiple accounts. You need to build relationships with multiple different banks, not just having access to multiple accounts, but you need to be building relationships with multiple banks. This bank might give you some type of funding. This bank might give you some more type of funding. This bank might be lenient. This bank might be strict. You gotta be able to access that. So if you just only had one bank, then you kind of putting yourself not in a hole, but you keeping yourself in a small bubble, because you're not open to a variety of things. So I just highly recommend that all entrepreneurs, that you guys just have multiple business bank accounts. It's I won't steer you wrong. Okay, just take that advice from me. What I can say. The last part when it comes to starting a business and properly structuring a business, we went over getting an LLC. We went over virtual addresses. We went over opening a business bank account. The last and most important part is you guys need to create a business plan. A lot of people come to me, hey, I got a business idea that I want to start. Yeah, you got a business idea you want to start? Yeah, I want to start this type of business. I got this business name. I got my logo. I got my website. I just opened up my business bank account with Space Coast Credit Union. Okay, did you draw the business plan? No, I just know that this is what I want to do. Without a vision, you freelancing. Okay? Without direction, you don't know where you're going. You have to create a business plan, so when it's time for you to go to the bank and really sit down and talk about funding, or if it's certain things that the bank maybe could be able to help you with the business plan that you created, can give you direction. It's certain accounts that they, make for you. It's certain strings that could be pulled, or that could just separate you from the people that are serious or that's coming here to play. It's not very normal that new entrepreneurs starting out go to the bank with a business plan. You know why? Because they think you don't know nothing. So when you come to the teller and say, hey, I got a business, I want to open up a business bank account. This is the LLC that I want to get started. And this is the business plan with what I got going on. They're going to say, wow, we don't normally see, new entrepreneurs come and say that they have a business plan. You sound like you got this thing all planned out. You sound like you're going to be very, now it's the whole energy going to change. I'm telling you. And also, a lot of people, start businesses and say, oh, I want to get funding, but you don't even have a business plan to know what type of funding that you need. You don't even know what's the amount that you need. You don't know what's the startup cost for your business. You don't know what's the overhead for your business. You don't know what's your monthly projected gross amount. You don't know what's your yearly projected gross amount. You don't know how much funding you need and what your profit gonna be, what's your profit and loss gonna be. All of those type of things. You have to know this. Right? And the main 4 important parts about creating a business plan is the business startup costs, the yearly annual income goal, your monthly projected target, and your daily weekly routine on how to get to these targets. That's the main 4 things when it comes to creating a business plan. You guys, we got so much. You got Canva, you got ChatGPT, you got Etsy, you got Google, you got business coaches, you got mentors. Speak up. If you don't know how to create a business plan, get help. If you want me to help you with yours, comment up under this video or send me a DM. If you need help with creating a business plan, let me know. I can help you. You cannot start a business without a business plan, because without no direction, you're lost. Take that from me. Cash flow management now. I just spoke about money management earlier. In the beginning of this episode, we're talking about how entrepreneurs lack money management and stuff like that. Cash flow management is the lifeblood of sustainable growth. What does that mean? Pay attention to me now. Stay with me now. If you want to really lock in on like how your money is gonna grow, you need to make a 13-week cash projection, and you need to update it weekly to anticipate the ups and downs that can happen. Yeah, 13 weeks is about what? 13 weeks is like a 90-day plan, right? 90-day plan, I'll say. Yeah. 4, 8, 12, okay, 13, that's just a little extra week, yeah. You need to create a 90-day money projection. So how much do you want your business to make in 90 days? Right? However much money you want your business to make in 90 days, you need to divide that by 3 months, and whatever that number is per month, you need to find out how much money you need to be making weekly to be on target, to be making the amount of money that you're looking to make within 90 days. I ain't even tell you to make a yearly goal yet, because that's too far. I need you to make a 90-day goal. I need you to make a 90-day money goal for how much you want your business to make within the first quarter, and divide that by 3, whatever number that is per month. You need to find out how much money you need to be making per week that you're going to be on track, on target to get to that 90-day goal. Whatever number it is per week that you need to be making to be on track to get to that 90-day goal, if you're going above or under it, you will know if you're on track. But without a plan, you lost. That's the first thing you need to do if you really want to lock in on that cash flow management. Second thing, when it comes to your business, I'm talking to new entrepreneurs now. People that's just not starting a business, people that, has a business, might be starting a new business, whatever you're at in business. You need to determine the payment methods that you use to accept when it comes to accepting payments for your business. Like, are you using digital payments? Are you accepting early payments? And are you accepting deposits, right? So digital payments will be, like Cash App, Zelle, Cash App, Zelle, Chime, whatever, different things like that. Early payments is like Afterpay, certain things like that. Depending on what industry you're in, certain people use deposits, like for, women in the beauty industry, for their appointments, they accept a lot of deposits. They need to know what payment processor that they use. What, do they have a website? Do they use it by Cash App? They deposits by cash. Do they have an online processor like Square, QuickBooks? What do you use? You need to find, depending on what type of business that you're in, you need to find out and understand what payment processors am I using for my type of business model. You need to know that. And if Cash App and Zelle is your only way of accepting form of payments, you need to get it the fuck together. Because everybody don't got that. What if you meet a client that wants you to send an invoice? There's some people that's bougie like that. Sometimes you might need to send an invoice because this client seem a little strange, look like they might try to act funny. So the invoice might actually help you because it saves the time, the date, and the amount on there. I had a situation where I had a client in front of me that was trying to pay me for a service. I think, like $2,000. The client didn't have cash, the client didn't have Zelle, and the client only wanted to pay me by credit card. And the client was standing in front of me right in my face. And I wasn't able to access my Square account. I had to go in my phone and call. This how important it is to have, business friends. I had to call one of my business friends and ask them, can they send the lady an invoice to her email so she can pay with her credit card for the service, and then, have the money sent to me, and then for her being able to, send an invoice for me because I'm not able to do it, but I want to take the payment from the client because she's right in front of me, we'll work that out on the back end. So what if my only form of payments was Cash App or Zelle, and the lady said she don't got that, she got credit card, and I say, oh no, if you don't got Cash App or Zelle, then I would have missed out on that $2,000. You got to be ready for all those scenarios. So whatever type of business model that you're in, you need to know, and if you don't know, what different payment processors to use, I recommend having Square. You can have Square Business, QuickBooks. That's really the main tool that I use. Anything else, is extra, like Cash App, Zelle, and things like that. But Cash App and Zelle are, the most, I guess, famous or whatever. But it's certain things, you just gotta watch out. You gotta be careful with that. Invoice is a little bit more safe. Only difference with invoice, the percentages are a little different. So find out who you want your payment processor to be. It could be PayPal, Square, QuickBooks, whoever, Zelle. That's on you. Next is negotiate longer payment terms with vendors. Build relationships for flexibility during tight periods. So when I say negotiate longer payment terms with vendors, that means when you have a client that pay you once will pay you twice. Sometimes people get clients and they just let them pay them one time and they never try to do another service with them again. Why are you trying to have a client that can pay you repetitively or on a month-to-month basis, or for multiple different services, for you to have that client, longevity, if they trust you? Because if a person, like I said, if a person pay you once, they'll pay you twice. So you need to find out, when I have clients, how can I make this client repurchase something again from me, right? You need to learn that. If you don't have that in your business, if you don't have nothing that you can, like the client that can be able to come and repay for a different service, or you may have something a client can pay for now and pay for, in a couple months, or again, you need to be able to find that. Okay. Next, analyze your progress weekly. Every week, at the end of your week, when your weekends come, before you do whatever you finna do, before you do your turning up, before you pop your bottle, before you take your shot, before you act like you congratulations to yourself for your hard week that you did, your weekend need to be analyzing your week that you just had, and you need to find out, are you in the negative or are you in the positive? That's what you need. Like this week, how much consultations you had, how much bookings you had, how much sales did you make, how much clients got in your chair, how much appointments do you have? Like all of those things, you need to figure out your week. Because if you be consistent enough that every weekend, before you take your focus off, and go do something else, every week, if you analyze everything that just happened last week, you will be way ahead of the game, and you will start to find errors in your business, and you will start to find the pros in your business on what's working, and that'll just help you stay on the top of your game. Some people hasn't analyzed their business. They only analyze their business once a month. That's too late of a time to be analyzing your business. Some people analyze their business every day, depending on what scale or what meter in your business that you are in. But you need to start analyzing your business every week. That's just my opinion on how I feel. If you want the straight, raw, and uncut, I ain't gonna tell you no bullshit. I'm gonna give it to you just how it is. During the week, you work. During the weekend, analyze the week that you did before. Figure out if you're in the positive or the negative. That's how you do it. Strategic budgeting. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that budgeting. But I got to. Align resources with business goals. Okay? Listen to me now. Aligning your resources with business goals. Strategic priorities. Identify 3 to 5 business apps and subscriptions that your business needs. I need y'all to write this down. I'm giving you some important homework that you need to be doing in your business when it comes to locking in aligning your resources and your business goals. Okay? When it comes to starting a business, building a business, or scaling a business, you need to find out what are the main 3 business apps and subscriptions that my business cannot go without. Next, your resource allocation. Find out how much monthly would it cost to maintain all the apps and subscriptions you need, right? So if it's 3 apps that your business cannot go without, find out, are these apps free? Are these apps have a monthly subscription? Do I have a one-time annual fee? Find out however much apps that you have, apps, websites, links, all of those things. Find out how much does it cost to maintain all of them apps or websites or links to keep your business up and running. So that's your overhead. You need to find out how much is your overhead is to keep your business up and running. That number is important. Activity planning. Detail specific activities and costs. Plan effectively content days, flyers, editing, and photo shoots. If you want to be in the entrepreneurship world, that's what it's going to take. Sometimes you can't just always do things on the go. You got to have cutout days. You got to have blockout days. Sometimes you got to plan accordingly. Sometimes this weekend might not be turning up weekend. This weekend might be content weekend. It might be a weekend where Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you doing straight content, a month worth of content, but you done did that in a weekend. I do it. It might be days where you might be off. You might say, listen, I got a couple of flyers and stuff that I want to make, for the business. I might want to make flyers, or you might want to pick a month. Say, listen, this month I'm going to do a business photo shoot. I want to do a revamp for the business, or I want to update, the pictures and stuff on the flyer on my website, on my social media pages. You gotta actively plan those things, unless your availability is just, you can just wake up and just do that. You have to be serious about actively planning. Trust me, if you want to get serious about business, you're going to need to do that. And performance tracking. Measure ROI on all things. For the people that don't know what ROI means, return on investment. Things that you're spending your money on, find out what's the return on investment on that. If the return on investment is 0 or negative, you may not need to be spending too much money on that. If it's something that's that you're investing in the business, you need to be finding out what's the ROI on that. It's some things that you may need, it's some things that you may not need. Okay? And please, y'all, keep track of your finances. Keep track of your finances and your progress. If you don't know how to do that, download QuickBooks app. When you hear me speak and I say keep track of your finances, you can personally do it. You could check your online banking. You could check your transactions, or you could download an app like QuickBooks. That's an accounting app, bookkeeping app that has everything in there for you, and you could be able to see it clearly. But when you really start getting money, you're not just opening up your online banking and just looking at the number. You keeping track of them finances. You need to know where every dollar is going. That's going to be the only way for you to grow and build. That's going to be the only way for you to reach that milestone where you're trying to go, when you know where your money going. It's the growth stage. The growth stage. Build a profitable and sustainable business. It's 4 components when it comes to building a profitable and sustainable business. Establishing and strengthening your brand, customer acquisition and retention, increasing revenue streams, operational efficiency, and delegation. Okay? Those are the 4 main topics when it comes to building a profitable and sustainable business. How do you establish and strengthen your brand? How do you establish and strengthen your brand? I'm giving you a moment of silence for you to think about it, for you to think about it, and then I'm gonna help you out. You develop brand consistently across all platforms, social media platforms. You build your social media platforms up: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat. Tell your story. You create a compelling branding story. Tell your story. How you think rappers become rappers? How you think shit pop off? They're telling a story. People are attracted to your story. It's some people that can relate to your story. Your branding is images. To get your branding out, you have to tell your story. Don't be scared to tell your story. Just say it. And there's all type of ways that you can do that. Telling your story is branding, if you really pay attention. Okay? And build a brand that people really understand. What is this about? Like when somebody speak on your business, they need to be able to speak on what is this about. Okay? Or they need to be able to feel like your business represents something. If it's anything that I want my business to be represented as, I want my business to be represented as Black excellence. When anybody speak on NYH Manifest Group, I want them to speak on Black excellence. Okay? That's just me. That's the value that I bring to my business. That's what I would want, or that's what I want my business to be, defined as. Besides everything that I'm doing. When you see NYH coming across the big screen, I want you to think about Black excellence. Think about financial literacy. Think about somebody who started from the bottom. Thinking about that, it is possible. Not just somebody online talking that bullshit that ain't never been through nothing, or that's not from where you from. This ain't that. Customer acquisition and retention. Speaking to my entrepreneurs right now. Create marketing funnels, emails, social media, and referrals. You need to know email blasting. You need to build your social media page, and word of mouth is very important. If your customers is telling other customers about your service, money gonna keep coming without you speaking. Some of my money come from word of mouth, some of my money come from social media page, and some of my money just come from marketing. But you have to be in all 3 avenues when it comes to your business. You have to. Build an email list with value-driven clients. If you don't know how to build an email list, you don't have to download ManyChat and learn how to build your email list. Don't say I ain't tell you. If you want to get some more information on that, send me a DM and book a consultation with me. I'll tell you about it. You need to start implementing systems in your business to keep track. It's a lot of us that's running a business, and we are all of the departments in our business. Until you delegate your business, you're gonna you're just going to keep running yourself in a cycle until you eventually get tired. You're going to have to delegate, but that comes with growth. Okay? So learn systems that just make your life easier. You don't have to do everything. You have to learn how to automate. That's why they got apps out here. That's why they got QuickBooks. That's why they got Cash App, Zelle, Square, ManyChat, Canva, Etsy. That's why they got these things for us, so we don't have to do it. To make it easier for us to do it, should I say. Increasing revenue streams in business. Upsell and downsell. Never be scared to upsell. Okay? Sometimes you might have to downsell just to take the sale, because that sale could bring you 5 more sales. So even if you got to sell something for 50% off with good service, that person might send you 5 more clients. Now you done 5x'd your money. Always try to introduce new products and product lines or packages. Okay? Whatever you got right now, people always like new. People always like new. After but so much, you're only going to be able to, market some of the same thing until it gets boring, until it gets not appealing to the eyes. After a certain amount of time, always try to add a new product to your business. Always try to add a new service. Always try to, have a new deal, something going on, holiday deals, any different, things like that. Set goals for the business. How much money you want to make weekly, how much goals you want to make monthly, how much goals you want to make yearly. With the amount of money that you want to make in the business. Like, you got to have a number. A lot of people want to be a millionaire, but have you made 100K first? If you haven't made 100K, you don't need to, not saying you don't need to be prioritized on $1 million, but you need to focus on making 100 first before you make $1 million. When you make 100, the same way how you made the 100, do that 10 times and you're going to make $1 million. Don't say I ain't tell you. Don't say I ain't tell you. Operational inefficiency delegation. Develop SOPs, right? For the people that don't know what SOPs mean, develop standard operation procedures. So everything that you do in your business, everything that you do for a day-to-day process, everything that you do to get you to the point that's a consistent pattern in your business, that's a SOP, right? Break that down into, compartments and figure out what places in the bit, like what order is that in your business. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you understand what I'm saying. Some people get to the point in their business where they can hire a VA or hire an assistant, right? A VA is a virtual assistant. That's somebody, maybe online or overseas to do certain things in your business, or somebody like people physical, you can hire an in-person person, depending on your business model. That depends on what level you are in your business that you're able to pay somebody. That's an operational cost. That's an expense, in your business. But is that expense helping saving you time? Is that expense helping saving you money? So it could be an expense, but it's helping, it's giving you a couple hours of free time. It's helping, 2x your monthly revenue in your business. Whatever that is, figure it out. Or you will get there soon. You don't have to worry about if you're not at the point where you can hire somebody yet. Go through the process and build yourself to the point. Use automations and delegation. You have to learn how to automate everything, because there's a quote that say, if you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work till you die. In other words, we need to learn how to automate this money, so even if you sleep, you still making money. From your services, from your social media, from your business, whatever it is. You need to learn automations, and you need to learn delegation. if you need help with, or if you want to know how I teach my mentees, how to automate their business, or if you just want to know what systems that I use in my business that helps me, reach out to me. I'll tell you. It's different strokes for different folks. I should just say that, right? And I forgot. I don't even know how I didn't forgot to cover about this part. Funding. Once you get into the entrepreneurship world, that word funding, it just do something to your body. Like, it make you wanna dance. Well, it's funding. Oh, you talking about how much? Like funding, that be how you, God, like funding. That word sound like gold to me, because all I hear is cha-ching. But guess what? Funding, excuse me. Funding is very important, but everybody don't qualify for funding. Another thing is multiple types of funding. Funding doesn't only mean loans. It's 4 types of funding, okay? The 4 types of funding is personal credit cards, personal loans, business credit cards, or lines of credit, right? That's the 4 fundings that we're talking about today in this episode. So personal credit cards, your bank, credit unions, Capital One, Apple credit card, that's personal credit cards. So whoever you bank with, you can get a personal credit card with them. You could bank with somebody and still get a personal credit card with multiple different credit unions if you want. Find out what's their requirements, for you to get personal credit cards with them. Personal loans, you got hard money lenders, or some people call them angel investors. Like, if you ever hear somebody say an angel investor, like, that's a hard money lender. That's like separate from the branch. Micro loans is like payday loans. I hate them. I don't like them payday loans because they'll run you dry. Try to stay away from them the best as possible as you can. And revenue-based financing. That just means loan or funding that goes based off of your bank statements and determine how much they're gonna give you. Business credit cards. The best business credit cards to go after are the 0% interest credit cards. Or also you can get business credit cards from your bank, whichever one that you qualify for. I recommend you do pre-qualifications if you can. If you can't, ask for the requirements first before you just pull the trigger. People are so scared, or if they're going to get approved or denied. You don't have to be scared if you ask the bank. It's the bank job to tell you what's the requirements. If they tell you what's the requirements and you don't feel like you require at the time over the phone, then don't even do it. Save yourself from a hard inquiry. And there's other business credit cards like Net 30 business credit cards, but that's on another level when it comes to, tapping in on the business credit side and stuff like that. And the last form of funding, lines of credit, right? So you can have personal lines of credit and business lines of credit. Banks, private equity, there's a whole different, there's a whole lot of, types of lines of credit, but those are the four types of funding though. And, depending on what position that you are in right now, you determine on what type of funding is the best for you. Like, do you like personal credit cards? Do you like loans? Do you like business credit cards? Do you like lines of credit? All of that stuff you got to figure out. Or you can get a mentor, you can get a business coach. Like I said, if you want me to mentor you, if you want to learn more about those, types of fundings, let me know. I can make a separate video specifically just, on funding. I can go I can go ham just on funding, like just, dropping game on funding. So y'all could just let me know if you want me to make a separate video about those 4 types of fundings, which ones is best, how to get it, what's the pros, what's the cons, and different things like that. Tax strategies, okay? It's 3 things when it comes to the tax strategies. So you got the business structure, deduction, maximization, and then you got the retirement planning. Okay? So with the business structure, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna make my business an S corp." No, you can register your business as an LLC. When it's time to file, you can ask your CPA to file your business as an S corp, so you can be able to get more tax deductions at the time when it's time for you to pay business taxes, because it's a little bit, the tax laws for filing as an S corp has more availability to do that than an LLC, because an LLC is a limited liability company. So no, you don't have to just get an S corp because you think that you're going to come out more on top than an LLC. No, you can have an LLC, and at the time when it's time to file business taxes, you can ask your CPA to file your business as an S corp, even though you're an LLC. If you never did, ask your CPA about it. Next time when it's time to file, go ahead and do that. But with the tax strategies, most important, what I would say, is that, for the LLCs, for the people with LLCs, trying to learn about tax write-offs or not familiar with tax write-offs, one of the most beneficial things is either that, you file as self-employed, or you ask them to file you as an S corp if you can get more tax deductions that way. Also, when it comes to retirement planning, like us that has 401ks and Roth IRAs, and stuff like that, that can also help when it comes to certain tax strategies. You just got to talk to your CPA about it. I am not a CPA. I have my own CPA that I go to. If you're looking for a CPA, I can give you guys the CPA that that I go to. Nice, nice lady. She's been in the game for a lot of years, at least probably like 15, plus years. So if you're looking for, if you don't like the business that's been going on with your tax preparer and you're looking for a new one, let me know. I can be able to give you a referral to the tax preparer that I use, and we could just move it like that. Let me see. Scaling the business. When it comes to scaling your business, so let me say this, right? When it comes to scaling your business, I feel like scaling your business is the 3rd step when it comes to business. So it's 3 steps in business. You know that, right? Start a business, build a business, scale a business. That's the 3 components. You got to start it, you got to build it, and you got to scale it. That's the method to success right there. Start a business, build a business, scale it. It's 6 components. When you get to the part of scaling your business, it's 6 components that you need to really scale your business, right? Systemization and automation. Team building and leadership. Financial forecasting and investor readiness. Scaling sales and marketing. Expansion strategies, and business compliance and legal structure. Those 6 to me are the 6 most important components when it comes to scaling a business. Because systemization and automation, you need to implement automation tools. You need to create documented systems for every core work. and you need to use project management software. For the people that don't know how to implement, automation tools, like, let me know. I can give you a list of apps, a list of apps, links, websites that you can use that maybe can help you automate your business depending on what you need it for. Team building and leadership. When you're in business, depending on how far you are in business, you have to know you're not going to be able to do this by yourself. Everybody that's successful has a team. Never forget that. Team building and leadership. You heard what I said? Team building and leadership. If you want to be successful, you have to build a team. You can only go so far with yourself. When you get a team with you, you're going to be able to go way farther. Remember I said that. Financial forecasting and investor readiness. You have to be willing to invest. Okay? You're not going to be able to save yourself to success. You have to be willing to invest. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur, but everybody could be an investor. Some entrepreneurs have bad money management. If you be an entrepreneur that knows how to invest, you'll be way well off than an entrepreneur that has bad money management. You see where I'm going with it? You got to be willing to invest. It's some money that you got to have available, yes, but you got to be willing to invest. You cannot be scared to invest. You got to be able to be ready to take risks. Scaling sales and marketing. You got to put yourself in everybody's face. I need you everywhere. When it comes to marketing, I need you on your clothes. I need you in your car. I need you Facebook, Google, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. People do not put their phone down, so you need to put yourself in front of the people's face when it comes to your marketing. If you don't do anything else, do not play about your marketing. Don't play about that. You may have a better service or a better product than somebody, but they out marketing you. That's why their sales doing better than yours. Okay, keep playing with it. You need to have an expansion strategy. How do you plan on growing? How do you plan on growing? Do you plan on building a team? Do you plan on growing by doing collabs? Are you trying to do partnerships? How do you plan on growing? Are you using other people's fan base to get in front of more eyes to help get you more popularity, expansion? How do you plan on growing? In business compliance, is your paperwork right? Do you got your articles of organization? Do you got your LLC? Do you got your business plan? Are you in compliance? Do you have your certifications that you need? Depending on what type of business model that you're in, do you have your certifications for your suite? Do you have your license for the category that you like? Do you have your paperwork right? Are you in compliance? Are you doing this on a low, just in your room, in your backyard, or are you really trying to be able to go sign deals, sign contracts, for real numbers? There's no way that you sit at them table with them big money people and your paperwork not right. I need you to start moving like a real business and get in compliance. If you feel like that you're not in compliance, you need to reach out to me ASAP. If you've been in business for longer than a year and you don't got your paperwork right, you need to reach out to me ASAP. This is not a game. There's 4 categories in risk management. Okay? Trust, LastPass, successful planning in business, and legal entity structure and asset planning. Okay? Remember what I said. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's 4 main sections when it comes to risk management. Trust, LastPass, successful planning and business continuity, and legal entity structure and asset protection. You need to tighten up on all those. You need to tighten up on all Those four things that I said is like the security of your fucking business type shit. It's like the security. And if you want some information on that, you can let me know, but that's like the security topics that you need to focus on to like just to make sure that you got all your information in the bubble, like that like that that you got your shit right, like that that you got certain things in order, that you moving in the right direction. Scaling financial systems from startup to enterprise, right? So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I'm gonna end the episode like this. If you watch this video all the way to the end, I'm gonna break down the steps from starting a business to the point that you need to be at, that you feel like that you got a game plan, that you're ready to scale. Key components now. When starting a business, you need to get your registered LLC, EIN, business bank account. After you get that LLC, get your EIN number, open your business bank account, your next focus need to be on getting your credit fixed, adding trade lines, and applying for credit cards. Focus on getting your credit score to the 700. Focus on adding trade lines, primary trade lines to your credit, and applying for credit cards, getting funded. You need to get some access to capital. The main reason why entrepreneurs cannot grow is a lot of them use their own money to fund your business. You're only going to be able to do that, but for so long, you're not going to be able to scale faster than if you had access to funding. And the only thing that's holding you back is your credit. So fix your credit, add primary trade lines, and apply for some credit cards so you could be able to use that to pay for inventory, and the money that you make from the business, you could be able to save some money and use the profit for something else, not reusing your money to invest back in the business. After that, you create a business plan, have positive revenue flowing, and go get a bigger bag. Remember, you already started. You got the LLC, you got the EIN number, you got the business bank account. Boom. After you got that out of the way, it's time to lock in on the credit. You locked in on the credit, you adding the primary trade lines on there, you getting you a couple credit cards in your back pocket. Apple credit card, Space Coast credit card, Capital One credit card, a Discover credit card, whichever one is easier for you to apply for. You create the business plan. Okay, I want to make $100,000 for the year in my business. Money start flowing, start getting clients, start getting paid clients, start making sales. Even if you're not making sales from clients, the money that you're making from your job, you transfer the money from your personal account to your business account. You transferred your direct deposit from your personal account to your business account from your job. So even if you're not making money from your clients on file, your business account is showing revenue coming in because you're getting paid from your job to your business account. And the last point that you need to be at is that when you create your yearly targeted amount that you want for your business, you invest into information and knowledge to help your business grow. And then you create passive income departments in your business. And I want to leave you with that. Listen, I want to thank everybody for for watching the first episode, man, of Big Business and No Business podcast. It's your boy Truck Money Caddy, and I'm glad that y'all was able to let me give y'all just, I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, how excited I am just talking to y'all, just trying to open up your mind and hope that you could feel and understand, the things that I'm talking about. Some of it may sound foreign to you. Don't mind how I sound. I'm just not getting through, or I still may have, like a little stuffy nose, but I ain't let that stop me from giving it to y'all today. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a screenshot, take a snapshot, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook. My Facebook is Mckinsy Alfred. I'm going to also drop all my links below, my TikTok, my Instagram at Truck Money Caddy. But listen, I just want to thank all my MRH family. I want to thank everybody who's been rocking with me since day one. We just not getting started, man. Listen, we on YouTube. You can watch me from wherever you at, any location. You can find me on Truck Money Caddy. This is the Big Business and No Business podcast, first episode, man. Financial Literacy Introduction 101. I want to thank y'all for tuning in with me. If you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe, like, and share this video with somebody that you may want to be included in this NYH family, because I'm giving it to you blood raw. Listen, thank you for watching, and catch me on the next episode.